What's your name?
My name is Jacek Banas.
Where are you from? Yes.
I'm from Krakow, Poland.
And soccer or football?
Soccer.
Isn't the debate that we should call it football instead of soccer all around the world?
Not really. As far as I'm concerned, both terms are acceptable. Soccer is actually a sort of English slang for association football. And that's the way it goes. And even one of the best publications in the world about soccer, it's called Soccer World, not Football World.
Let's get that way. It's very impressive. Yeah. Huh. When is the first time you played soccer?
The first time that I ever played, I was probably kicking around with my friends when I was 6 or 7 years old. The first ball I ever got, I was 8 years old. It was a beautiful leather ball with all the old-fashioned kinds, not like the ladybug design that became popularized in the America during the 70s, but it actually had strips of leather, 22 panels.
22 panels? Do you
Yes.
remember the brand of the ball that you played?
Oh, it was a Polish ball.
Polish ball?
Yes, domestic brand, but it was made of real leather. Back then, they were not made of synthetic materials like they are now. It was also brown in color. It wasn't full size, it was also like a child size.
Was the ball something that every kid had, or just one in a few had and then...
Well, when I was growing up, not everybody had a ball, but that's the beauty of soccer. All you need is one ball, and a lot of kids can enjoy it.
You think soccer brings more people together than any other sports just because of that fact that you only need a ball?
I don't know necessarily if it's only soccer, but it is my belief, and I think it's proven by my experience that sports in general bring more people together than any other activity on this planet. Not even music. Many people that will claim that music brings people together. No, I wouldn't say so, because different people have different musical tastes. It's based on where they come from, what their color or their cultural background is, even their socio-economic background. On the other hand, sports, no matter what class or what background or what country or religion you come from, it's a universal language for everybody. Total strangers will fall into each other's embrace and start kissing each other where their teams win or score a goal. Yes.
So tell me about your profession to soccer. Do you participate into any tournaments? Do you join any teams?
Yes, I played on school teams when I was younger. They were not very well organized. We didn't have coaches when I was growing up in Poland. We had our physical education teachers. They just let us do whatever we wanted to do. But they would organize kickabouts every day after school, would play. And later, when I reached my teenager years, I caught an interest of one club, and I kicked around with their juniors team. However, I did not want to become a full professional because I had interests that are common to most teenagers. I wanted to hang out with friends, I wanted to get laid, and the coaches in the club wanted me to go every day and play for the club. I refused. So my adventure with the club lasted only for a year and a half, but I have great memories. The things that I've learned, they stayed with me for the rest of my life. After I immigrated to America, I played with several other local clubs throughout the country, and also on amateur level I got to play with a lot of former professionals. And after I retired from play, I started my own amateur club in California, and I ran it for 8 years with good success.
What was the name of that club?
Star Soccer Club. As a matter of fact, it so happens that I'm wearing our first jersey.
The first jersey ever?
Yes, we joined the San Francisco Soccer League in 1995. And that was our sponsor, 20 Tank Brewery. I was an employee at the brewery, and my boss gave me $2,000 just so we could pay our league fees.
Good. So, what made you retire from playing soccer?
Injuries?
Injuries?
Yes.
What kind of injuries?
Oh, serious injuries. I had shattered one ankle, fractured another, and finally need an operation on my knee as well. I decided to hang it up at the age of 30.
30?
Yes.
And after your injuries, what did soccer become to you? How do you...
Oh, I always consider it when I realized what a big blow it was to hang up my boots. I couldn't live without it. I realized what a great loss it was. It created a void in my life. And that's why I decided to start a club, so I would be still involved. I realized that it's not just a hobby, but it's a lifestyle.
And what do you do in terms of that? Do you do anything after that to kind of get yourself involved in soccer besides being a fan?
No, I haven't been involved in the game in a while because being involved, running a club and dealing with the fragile egos of the athletes, it also was very satisfying, but at the same time was very draining, both emotionally and physically. So I decided to rest for a while. Perhaps I will go back to a similar endeavor in the future.
So, have you been to any World Cups or any games that are memorable to you?
Yes, during the 1994 World Cup in the United States, I witnessed a great game, Brazil-USA, on the 4th of July at Stratford Stadium in California. It was a beautiful game.
Was that the game that Bebeto blew it? Or no, who blew it?
Well, I don't know if it was blue. Brazil was the eventual champion, and United States really stood no chance, realistically, in that game. The score was only 1-0, but the score was very flattering to the Americans.
So tell us, how many shirts do you own? Because I see now quite a few that you have worked with.
Oh, I know a few, but I would like to stress that all of them have been gifts. I never bought one of them myself. They are gifts either from the people, from my friends, family, or from players I used to associate with. The greatest game I have ever seen was between Santos from Brazil and Chivas Guadalajara from Mexico. It was an exhibition game at the Oakland Coliseum in California. I have never seen such wizardry in action as I witnessed that day. And I will never forget it. I still dream about it at times and try to relive it in my mind in daytime while I'm daydreaming.
Is there something that you particularly remember about that game?
Yes, I remember everything about that game. I went there with a friend. It was a drizzly night. There were perhaps only 10,000 people in the stadium because of the inclement weather. I remember the Chivas wore their beautiful uniforms, white and red stripes, and Santos wore a shimmery silver jerseys, all white. White jersey, white socks, white shorts, with blue numbers on the back. The Chivas club is the most popular club in Mexico. They play beautiful ball. In the first half, they bothered Santos a lot and went up 1-0. At halftime, I witnessed something that I could never repeat in practice with my own players. All the reserve players for Santos came out, started running around the center circle, passing the ball one touch across the circle, a distance of 20 yards. The ball had to be struck perfectly and passed into space while they ran around. Not one of them lost control. When I witnessed that, I knew who was going to win the game. Sure enough, in the second half, it was a game of cat and mouse. Santos struck 3 times within 10 minutes, and the game was over.
Wow. 3 times?
And sure enough, I have never seen such display ever since.
What does a jersey mean for you?
Jerseys, the jerseys that I wear it out of respect for the game. I would never burn a jersey of another club, even though in my city, the club that I supported, we have a huge rivalry with a club whose stadium is located literally less than a mile away. And these fans really hate each other to the point where they assault each other frequently, sometimes with grave consequences. I ran with some unsavory characters when I was younger, but I would never go as far as to intentionally injure somebody just because they supported another club. Mm-hmm. Because I realized that their love for the club is just as deep as mine, and I respect that. However,
what were these clubs? What were the club that you were familiar with in Poland?
The club that I supported is called Wisła Kraków. They are a very big club, 13-time champion of Poland, founded in 1906. I played for their juniors for a while, for their youth team, trained with them. The other club is called Cracovia. They are allegedly older by several months than Wisła. They are 5-time champions of Poland. There is no love between these two clubs, and there is certainly no love between their fans. Both sets of fans claim that they rule the city, but to be honest, at my age now, it's truly irrelevant. Wisła still rules. The results speak for themselves.
How many times Wisła has been champion?
13.
13 times?
Yes.
Do you know the origins of the Wisła club? They started as something else?
No, it started as a soccer club.
Because I know
made up of high school students. Later, it grew into a behemoth of sorts, especially after World War II, when the police became their sponsor. And it was a club with many different sections. For example, track and field, boxing, judo, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and such. It was a huge club. Nowadays, after Poland has reverted to a capitalist system, there is the soccer part of the club is separate from the other part of the club, of the Wisła organization, and it's run as a business, more or less. Before, it was a club based on membership and sponsorship from the police. There are a lot of glory days associated with the club. When I left Poland, Wisła had only 5 championships behind their belt. Since then, they had captured 8 more. So I'm very happy. The last time I went to visit Poland, I went to a couple games, one away, one home.
How long ago
These were hair-raising and very interesting experiences in themselves, especially the away journey, which was going into a hostile territory. Something that I will never forget.
Nice. How long ago since you've been back to Poland?
Oh, it's been quite a while, and I haven't been there in many years, 14 years.
Is most of your family still in Poland?
No.
No.
No, I don't have any close family there.
What happened to them, if I can ask?
Well, what happens to most people of advanced age?
Oh. So no immediate family in Poland? Either?
No, just some cousins.
Do you ever want to go back and see what Poland has left for you?
This is not out of the question. I believe that I could still fit in there.
Do you think it's, because I've been asking this question to a lot of people that are from different countries.
Yes.
Do you think it'll be easier to live in Poland right now rather than here in the United States? Or based on your experience, what do you think?
Based on my experience, I'm not sure if it would be easier. I would have to consider that I've been absent from Poland for so long, and I have spent pretty much all my adult life here in the States. So I would have to readjust myself if I ever thought about living there. But I am comfortable. I believe that I would be comfortable in both places.
Oh, this is good. Is there are you excited about Brazil? Brazil 2012? Is that what it is? 14?
Yeah, well, I'm always excited about every tournament. One of the reasons why I live in poverty is because I cannot have a steady career. Every 2 years, whenever a major tournament in soccer comes around, I disappear for 1 month at least, so I can watch every game on television at least. Well, first of all, I wish I could make a living doing it. Whether commenting on the game, writing about it, or still actively participating in some role within a club. I would not wish to be a part of a big professional club because I understand that it takes and drains all of one's energy. But I would like to be able to work with some promising young adults or some youth so that I could pass over my experience and some of my passion and perhaps bring them up to some other level so they would be ready to take it and make it into their profession.